Mark Ray Mundy for MMAfighting.com here in Tokyo, Japan, with Mark Henry, coach for Eddie Alvarez, who makes his One Championship debut on Sunday at One Championship, a new era, and it is a new era for One and for Eddie, and for you guys, making these trips out here to Asia. How has it been so far? Do you kind of is it cool to kind of be here on this next chapter of Eddie's evolution as a fighter?
Yeah, anything doing with Eddie, man, is awesome, man. He's such a great dude. He's always there for everybody. He's a very close friend of mine, so like doing anything for Eddie is a given, man. And he does so much for everyone else, so it's exciting, man. I think the thing that I'm most excited for about it's like you said, it's like a rejuvenated Eddie Alvarez, man. It's like a whole new beginning for him, and he's kind of really pumped. And he came back in camp, great weight. And there's a hunger in him, and he's definitely gotten so much better in this camp. So I'm excited at this stage of the game, the growth that he's having, and the excitement to want to learn with that white belt mentality he's got. So I'm pretty pumped up. And One's been treating him real great. So he wants to in return treat them good with an exciting fight.
You mentioned the weight real quick, and I wanted to ask you more about that because there's really no weight cutting the way that fighters in the UFC do. For one, it's more of you come up a weight class than you normally would, and you take hydration tests to make sure you're not dehydrated the whole week. And Eddie told me yesterday that he actually sparred on Tuesday, which is unheard of if he were to be in the UFC. Is that not right?
Yeah, well, we usually stop 10 days before. It wasn't like a full out killer spar. It's just just for him to get his feeling back, and also too, from the trip. You want to make sure that you get your boundaries straight and your body's good again. So he's been feeling great, man. And the weight cut, it's like a Frankie Edgar weight cut. So right. I'm around those. So I wish all these guys would do that, man. It's tell you, it hurts me as a coach to watch them go through the stuff they do. I wish it was illegal, man, because it's just someone's gonna really get hurt one day from it, and I hope it doesn't, but it's bound to happen.
Maybe if more people see kind of what One does, it can maybe be used in other places, right? I mean, it seems like what they're doing, and I don't know everything about it, and I want to find out more about it, but it seems like the idea of, hey, let's not cut 25 pounds in one day is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also too there could be parameters in it, like restrictions, if you miss weight, let's say you miss weight by 5 pounds, you're out of that weight class. Or you miss weight by 3 pounds, you get one chance left. If you just miss weight by 3 or less, you get one more shot at that weight. But if you're over 5, you just shouldn't be in that weight class anymore. And the guys, all the UFC guys are they're tough guys. That's why they do what they do. And when they're 7 pounds less than somebody or 9, they're the type of guys that aren't going to say no, and they wind up fighting anyway. That's dangerous, man, to fight somebody that's that's 7 pounds bigger with 8-ounce gloves.
You're
4-ounce gloves. 4-ounce gloves.
You're a coach that does a ton of homework, going to training camps and preparing your fighters. Being with Eddie in One, it's a whole new slate of opponents. Some opponents that people in the States maybe have never heard of. Have you had to kind of catch up on who some of these guys are like Timofey Nastyukhin, the guy that Eddie's fighting on Sunday?
I'm kind of taking it one fight at a time, try not to look too far ahead, so just taking, the one fighter he has in front of him right now, Timofey, he's a handful, he's got a ton of power, he's got some quickness to him, and every punch he's trying to knock you out, so I think we'll keep our attention on him for now.
Sounds like a good idea. And I guess about when it comes to One in this tournament that Eddie's in, there is a perception, at least in the States, that, it's Eddie Alvarez, he's the former UFC champion, he's going to come in here and waltz all over these guys, but I'm sure that you guys are not approaching it in that way, right?
No, not at all. And, that's the pressure part of it, too. You know what I'm saying? You're in, they're not giving you the guy who has the belt. You're in a tournament, and that's a lot of pressure. You're a UFC champion, and now you're here in a tournament. So, it's a ton of pressure, but I think if Eddie just concentrates on himself, which he has been this camp, I think everything's going to turn out great for him. And, I see him coming out victorious.
Is it more pressure than being the last few fights that you guys had in the UFC were pressure-filled fights, title fights, top contender fights? Is it more than that or similar?
And I'd say it's a tad bit more.
Yeah. Oh.
I'd say it's a tad bit more. That you have a new organization. Everybody's excited to see you. You're the UFC champion. You're Bellator champion. He's been champion in other. When he was champion in Japan, now he's back.
Right.
To Japan again. So it's a little bit of a pressure. I haven't talked to him about it, but
Sure.
I think it's a little bit. But I think also too in our gym, man, we're used to it. Like everybody on our team's ranked, and it's always like 2 against 3, 3 against 5. Marlon's fighting for the title coming up, and Frankie's always the top guys. Corey Anderson is doing phenomenal. Even our 2 women that we have, Sajara Eubanks and Caitlin, ranked 2 and 3, and Zabit up to 6 now. So it's just you're always fighting top level guys, and man, it's not easy to always go 4 against 5. Fight top 10, and it's tough. And you keep winning.
I actually want to ask you about a couple of those fighters you mentioned. Just found out a few days ago that Marlon is fighting Henry Cejudo for the bantamweight title. That's in June in Chicago at UFC 238. What do you like about that matchup for Marlon?
I love about that matchup for Marlon the fact that Henry just beat two of some of the best fighters in the game. So I think Marlon, I think he's excited for that and wants to show that he's the best in the world. So it's an awesome task for him, and he's beyond pumped that he wanted Henry. There was nobody else he wanted but Henry because of what he's done. And, when asked, who'd you like, he had one name, and that was it.
It seems like Marlon's a guy that should have maybe gotten a shot sooner, and it only happened because, unfortunately, TJ Dillashaw tested positive, for a prohibited substance. Is that a shame? But I mean, obviously, it's a good thing in the end. But Marlon should have gotten this shot maybe even before this, right?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely should have. What he's been doing, but it doesn't matter. He has it right now, and it's against a great opponent. Marlon's wrestling defense is as good as Aldo's, man, if not better.
Wow.
So I don't know. You'd have to go back on Marlon's tape to see. If I was his coach, I'd go back, look, okay, let's see how the last guy took him down. And I think if you went to see the last time he was taken down, you might have to go back to when he was in kindergarten. Because I don't even know when he was he's been with us for 16 fights. And he came to our gym at 7-4-1.
Right.
And since he's been with us 16 fights, it wasn't for the Austin South fight, he'd be 16-0. Like, I don't even remember him being against the fence, his back to the fence, let alone taken down. So, he's excited. And even if he does, his jiu-jitsu is phenomenal, and getting up's incredible too. So, so even getting him there is a task in itself, and keeping him there. But we're excited for him, man. And Henry has that insane wrestling, man. So it should be an awesome fight.
And just lastly, Mark, and thanks again for taking the time. Frankie Edgar has been on the shelf a little bit, kind of waiting for that next fight. The featherweight division is now wide open with Max Holloway, the champion, moving up and fighting Dustin Poirier for the interim lightweight title. What is next for Frankie, and what do you guys want?
The title, hope for the title. See what happens with Max. If Max wins,
Probably going to fight Khabib, right?
Yeah, I know. It's like you're basically giving him 2 fights at lightweight, so I don't know how he'd still be there. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame we couldn't get the Max fight done. They both were injured, and Max, Max will fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. I mean, that's what I love about the kid. And it's a shame that didn't happen. But just hoping Frankie gets the next title shot, man. And he's been training. He just started revving up training again. He's been training, but he's been last few weeks he's been getting a little excited, and hoping that everything works out and falls in place for him.
Maybe sometime in like the summer, earlier or late summer.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing great now. He's ready on 6-week notice. Whenever they give the green light, he's ready.
I mean, it's an interim title. I know that, say what you will about interim titles, but I know. But in this case, like you said, because if Max is getting that shot for the lightweight title interim and then possibly the title against Khabib, then what does the featherweight division do? You almost need another interim title to make sure someone gets a fight.
I don't think an interim title means anything, man. So let's forget an interim title. I think it does nothing. But I don't know. That's the tough thing nowadays.
Yeah.
You just don't know where to. There's no format anymore. There's no blueprint. There's no. It's like the wild, wild west, man.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to start to say what if, what can. It's, you're not. choke yourself out thinking about that. So I'll leave that alone. But UFC's always been great with our guys. You know what I'm saying? And I think Frankie's earned his way, and hopefully he gets the shot.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Good luck on Sunday.
You got it, brother.
Thanks, man.